This week, the State Elections Board found that 5 Republican candidates turned in too many fraudulent signatures to qualify to run in the race.
One of them, former Michigan State Police Captain Mike Brown, dropped out of the race, saying he wanted nothing to do with fraud.
The other 4 candidates challenged the board's recommendation before the Board of State Canvassers today, but as our Capitol correspondent Tim Skubic reports, things did not go their way.
The State Elections Bureau contends it found enough fraudulent petition signatures in those boxes there to disqualify not 1 but 4 Republican candidates running for governor, including James Craig, Perry Johnson, Michael Markey, and Donna Brandenburg. She was none too pleased with the process the state used to boot the quartet off the ballot potentially.
I find this process to be an arbitrary goat rodeo. It's a shame. It's an assault against the American people on every single level.
The process the state did use was not to check every signature on those petitions, but instead it made an assumption that if one name was forged, all the other names on the same sheet were automatically tossed out too.
They cannot do automatic disqualification. That is clear from the case law. So out of all the options that they could have used, they picked one that violates Michigan law.
No, it doesn't, counters this Democratic attorney who contends the state does not have to compare each petition signature with the state's list of qualified voters, the QVF.
If the staff and the board finds that circulators filed false certificates, you are authorized by subsection 11A to proceed to disqualify entire sheets of petitions without having to resort to the QVF.
The 2 Republicans and the 2 Democrats on the State Board of Canvassers took all this in, and then they voted 2-2 to basically do nothing, which means the candidates are off the ballot for now.
What concerns me is making assumptions on how much of it is fraud and tossing potentially valid signatures in that pool. Like a trial, you can assume certain things, but if the proof isn't there, we need to err on the side of citizens and their rights. So if these 4 want to stay in the race, they'll have to find some court to put them back in the race. Otherwise, well, they'll have more free time this summer. Your view in Lansing, Tim Skubic, 6 News.